The Black Death is a multiplayer survival game set during a dark medieval time. Picking from a range of professions, you enter into a world infected with plague, bandits, and other players to see how long you can survive. The Militia are members of a disbanded free company. Trained in combat, they are left in a world with no war and little order, taking up an almost mercenary-like profession. The Militia's unique ability to get the upper hand in combat can make them useful in taking what they deserve from bandits and plague victims. However, a severe lack in crafting and gathering ability will make a lonely, uncoordinated militia extremely vulnerable, since they can only create primitive weapons and armor. We have selected a female warrior, renamed our character, and started at a militia camp near the border. Far from civilization, the only nearby population are other militia. Early life for militia is dangerous. Trading posts are rare, and aggressive NPCs are scattered all around the region. Out in the wild, it's wise to find companions before journeying alone. After a long and lonely trip, we have come across a tavern in which a night of heavy drinking is in full swing. Ale was a sought-after pleasure in the Middle Ages, and so it is in the Black Death. Giving a good amount of nourishment, it also causes some mild side effects. We've teamed up with another member of the militia, and we head out, drunk and brave, deep into the lands in search of gold and loot. Killing bandits can be a good way to earn your coin, even loot some decent clothing or weapons, but it's a high-risk way of life, and fighting in groups can even the odds drastically. Here, we have come across some armor from a dead bandit. This increases a player's armor value, preventing in some damage from attacks. However, as it's rather basic equipment, it won't last very long. On our travels, we have come across a peasant cultivating his land. Our partner, who apparently has little food and the hunger is getting the better of him, decides to bully the peasant into giving him some food. Unfortunately for our partner, the peasant decides to fight back. Choosing to fight is dangerous. The Black Death features permadeath, meaning a loss of life and a complete loss of your character's skills and current inventory. On top of that, attacking and killing an unarmed player results in committing a crime, for which a period of time guards will attack you on sight. It's tempting to pick on weaker classes as a militia, since you have the upper hand profession-wise, but in the end it is all down to skill. In this instance, the player controlling the peasant has got the best of him. Better gear and better fighting experience provides victory, especially as the militia was wounded and severely fatigued. The player has offered the peasant her services to protect him during farming in exchange for some much needed nourishment. With another greedy militia player on the way, this is a good chance to show the combat system. When drawing your weapon, you enter a combat stance. You can switch between these stances whilst holding the Alt key and clicking on one of two directions. Click left and the sword will position itself on the left. Click right and it will do the opposite. Positioning yourself in the correct stance is important, as it will automatically parry incoming attacks and incur a short stun. Attacking works similarly to defending. Clicking left or right on your mouse will swipe your weapon in that direction, leaving you in the next stance. This will require some skill to prevent leaving yourself open to attack. The militia's unique profession ability is a front kick, which will also stun your opponent. This can be done whilst in any combat stance by pressing the F key. This is great for throwing your components off rhythm and leave them vulnerable. We came out of that fight with only a scratch, but we are bleeding. Bleeding will cause a player to lose health slowly unless a bandage is applied. Militia can create crude bandages as one of their very limited crafting abilities. If you need better medical assistance, you can purchase better bandages from a merchant, or even make friends with a monk who has a specialist in being a doctor. Our duties here are done. We have food, decent gear, and we are in good health. It's time to do what militia do best, and that is clear out plague mobs. Some villages have become stricken with the Black Death and have thrown the area in chaos. If fellow players want to move in and use the area, it will need to be cleared of infection, which brings us to the sickness system. On the top right, you'll have a percentage telling the player how infected you are. This will increase coming in contact with other infected players, NPCs, rats, and even eating rotting food. Due to primitive medicine, the sickness can only be prevented but not cured. You'll experience side effects such as coughing, sneezing, vomiting, blurry vision, and stamina penalties, which will become stronger as your sickness increases. As you can see, not all plague victims attack, they are people after all. But killing plague NPCs, even weak ones, can still incur sickness. It is best to judge the situation before swinging your weapon at NPCs. The true threat are the desperate, severely sick, who have been driven mad with the plague. These bloodthirsty killers will look to take the smallest chance of survival you have. These are the ones that will usually attack first when you are deep within locations such as this one, an infected hub where sick NPCs live and trade. Unfortunately for the player, their health is low and their limited supplies have still left them stricken with the plague, and now they will die surrounded by the infected, losing her possessions in the process. This proves that a mighty warrior can still die on their own in the Black Death.